Good morning and welcome back to Football Morning Show. Masih bersama gua Hanif Thamrin dan tentunya masih semangat dan konsisten menemani aktivitas pagi kalian di setiap jam 7 tentunya bersama Football Morning Show. Dan semakin banyak sekali absen-absen kegiatan kalian di pagi hari yang sungguh sangat absurd. Kemarin udah ada yang ngarit di sawah, ada yang ternyata bersihin katanya kandang sapi sembari sapinya dengerin gue juga. Ini dia, begitu banyak sekali dan gue masih encourage kalian untuk tentunya absen-absen sambil menyampaikan aktivitas dan rutinitas pagi kalian setiap jam 7 pagi sambil dengerin gue itu ngapain aja. Itu dia. Dan hari ini tentunya seperti yang sudah gue janjikan, karena bentuk hadiah dan juga apresiasi gue untuk kalian para APH alias Aliansi Pembela Hanif yang sudah mencapai milestone pertama 40.000 subscriber, dan kita abis ini langsung telepon Fabrizio Romano yang memang sudah gue jadwalkan untuk kita tektokan dan mewujudkan cita-cita luhur dari program ini. Itu yang pertama. Dan yang kedua, gue ingin mengingatkan kalian juga, karena kita sudah mencapai milestone yang pertama, saatnya kita terus maju untuk masuk ke milestone yang kedua. Milestone yang kedua antara lain untuk pencapaian 75.000 subscriber, kita akan melakukan subaton selama setidaknya 17 hari di Inggris targetnya. Kalau ternyata animonya luar biasa, bisa berangkat di pembukaan Liga Inggris di tanggal 17 Agustus. Tapi kalau ternyata nggak nyampe, ya mungkin kita bisa aim di akhir Agustus. Let's see how it goes. Semoga kita tetap bisa memberikan inovasi-inovasi yang terus secara konsisten dan juga yang baru buat kalian para APH. Banyak juga yang nggak suka, tapi it's okay. Kita dengerin yang suka aja ya. Dan untuk merecap hari ini, itu akan ada beberapa hal yang ingin gue tanya sama Fabrizio. Antara lain gue ingin nanyain seputar update tentang pastinya yang kalian tunggu-tunggu. Ada dua topik. Satu adalah kemana Benjamin Sesko akan berlabuh. Yang kedua, seperti apa kira-kira transfer dinamika yang akan dialami oleh Alexander Isak. Apakah akan siapa, secepat apa, berapa harganya, and so on and so forth. Kita akan minta clarify ke Fabrizio pada hari ini. Kemudian juga pastinya tentang pemain-pemain yang sekarang belum menemukan tim dan dalam daftar jual. Kita akan tanyakan juga siapa yang akan pergi dan seperti apa tentunya situasi di Inggris, di Italia dan juga di Spanyol untuk kalian bisa update. Dan ada satu breaking news yang akan gua tanyakan. Jadi gua udah chat duluan tadi dan gua akan minta dia klarifikasi tentang topik ini, dan itu adalah tentang masa depan Kapten Timnas Indonesia J. Izes. Oke, tanpa berlama-lama lagi kita akan langsung telepon my friend. My friend, my mate. Dan kita akan langsung telepon Fabrizio Romano. Okay, my friend, my dear friend Fabrizio, rumor says that you never sleep when it comes to July and August. Have you been getting enough sleep, my friend?
Enough, no, but still some, just in time to have some energy for transfer news. Thank you.
Perfecto. So let's just get into it, huh? There's a lot of questions coming from the Indonesian fans. We would like to humbly request for you to answer a couple of fans' questions later on. But let's start with everyone's topic that they are very keen to hear from you, which is the battle between Manchester United and Newcastle for the signing of Benjamin Sesko. What would be the deciding factor, do you think, that could potentially get the edge of the signing of Benjamin Sesko?
I think it's going to be really important to understand if Man United financially can pay what Red Bull Leipzig want, and obviously what also the player want, but especially the club-to-club topic is going to be very important, because Newcastle are ready to pay what Leipzig want and what the player want. So if the player decides to accept Newcastle, he can go tomorrow morning, because everything is ready between clubs. But in that case, because Newcastle would be ready to pay what's needed to sign Benjamin Sesko. The real point now is on Manchester United. Man United are in the conversation. Man United are talking to the agents of Sesko, and they are trying to understand if financially they can make it happen. So I think it will really depend on the financials of this deal to understand if Man United can make it or if he will go to Newcastle.
In your perspective, the financial hurdle in a Man United side, do you think it's going to be on the transfer fee, or is it on the how to reach an agreement between the players' representative and the club?
No, I think it's more on the transfer fee because with Sesko, I don't think that's going to be a big problem. I think it's more the point related to the situation of the club because Red Bull Leipzig want something around the 70-80 million euros fix plus 5-10 million euros in add-ons. And obviously for Man United, after signing Cunha and Beumo, that could be challenging to pay that money. So we have to see if they can make it happen, if they can sell also some more player after Marcus Rashford. There is a situation of Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho. So Man United are working on the outgoings, but I think they want to try. They called the agent of Sesko in the recent hours, and so they are in the race for Benjamin Sesko.
Okay, in terms of, you've mentioned yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that there is a gentleman agreement between Sesko Camp with Leipzig, with certain clubs that is preferred by the players. Will this willingness of the players will determine probably more of like flexibility in terms of discounted price that Man United could potentially struck a deal with Leipzig?
Yes, because at the beginning of the window, the price had to be something close to 100 million euros, and in that case, for Man United, it was impossible to reach that money. Now, with this gentleman agreement, Sesko can indicate the club as his favorite destination eventually, if he wants to, and in that case, the price can drop to 70-80 million euros fixed plus 5-10 in add-ons. So it really depends on the player. I think now is the moment where Manchester United are presenting their idea, their view to the player. They are presenting also they are trying to understand also the financials of the deal before entering into it and trying to make it happen. Newcastle already got this information. They already spoke to the agent of the player, and Newcastle would be ready also because Alexander Isak is ready to leave the club and his desire is very clear.
Okay, one thing that you mentioned earlier, another potential to drive money to make the transfer happen for Manchester United is actually the outgoings. Several days back, there is some sort of report that's saying that Saudi has interest, slight interest in Anthony, and there is some progress in how Garnacho willing to find another club. Will we see there's any breakthrough in terms of outgoing in Man United in any time soon?
Look, at the moment, not yet. Yesterday, there were reports on Anthony going to Al Nassr, but I'm told that Al Nassr have not made any official bid for Anthony at the moment. They just spoke to people close to the player because they are interested, but at the moment, they said they didn't send an official bid. They signed the Joe Felix from Chelsea, so at the moment, they are going to take some time before they do one more offensive signing. So the situation of Anthony is still ongoing also with European clubs. I will keep an eye still on Betis and more European clubs interested in the player. But for sure, Anthony will go, Sancho will go. And for Garnacho, I will stay attentive to the situation of Chelsea. Because Chelsea are now focused on Xavi Simons, on Hato as new defender. So Chelsea are working on several deals. But from what I'm hearing internally, they still consider Garnacho as a potential solution for the maybe final weeks of this summer transfer window. So if there is no other solution, I think Garnacho will wait for an opportunity like Chelsea for the final weeks.
Okay, another hot topic in the market is actually the future of Alexander Isak. Is it just going to be Liverpool, or can we expect last-minute surprise from other contenders?
Look, in the market, for my experience, never say never. So I never close doors to anything because my job is to tell people what's going on and not to predict the future. But in terms of what's going on, I can tell you that Liverpool are really, really strong in this race. They are more than favorites, in my opinion. They are the club wanted by Alexander Isak. So Liverpool are working on it. Liverpool are ready to bid. Liverpool are ready to break a record in terms of transfer fee for Alexander Isak. So they have everything ready. They are just waiting for Newcastle to call and say, okay, let's negotiate. In that case, Liverpool will be ready with an official bid. But what I'm hearing is that the player already said no to Saudi clubs. He's not negotiating with Al Hilal despite all the reports. His focus is on European football, on Liverpool as priority. I'm not aware of Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal entering this race. I think if Isak leaves this summer, he's to go to Liverpool.
Okay. It's a very bad situations that Newcastle United are currently experiencing, with many of their target in the market are preferring other clubs compared to them. Assuming they are missed out on Benjamin Sesko and Man United have a front foot on the players, who do you think the name that they will be pivoting into?
Look, a player they appreciate, for example, is Nicolas Jackson at Chelsea. He's a player they like. And then, obviously, Chelsea want important money, so it's not going to be an easy target too. But Nicolas Jackson is a player they like, and they had some contacts last week for Nicolas Jackson as a possibility, and he could leave Chelsea this summer. It's a concrete possibility. Then Vissa at Brentford remains a player they like. I think this is not linked to Isak Sesko or any other case, but they want him. They believe that the player really wants to go and join Newcastle, wants to play Champions League football. So Vissa at Brentford is another name very high on the list of Newcastle. And then we will see. But at the moment, I can guarantee to you that they are still trying and pushing for Sesko. Then, if Sesko will go to Manchester United, obviously, Newcastle will have to focus on a different target.
Just a preference because my club is Juventus Football Club. Is there any possibility, considering the situation of Dusan Vlahovic contract stalemate, that eventually if the negotiations just keep dragging and they don't find the right talent or the right target to replace Isak, do you think there is a possibility that they will eventually see Dusan Vlahovic as an alternative?
Look, let's say Vlahovic for me can be a name of the final weeks of the window. I expect Vlahovic to leave Juventus, so let's see what happens there. I can tell you that at the moment there is nothing between Newcastle and Vlahovic, zero. So as of today, there is nothing. Then, if, as you mentioned before, they can't get Sesko or maybe any other target, and Vlahovic appears as an option, we will see. But Vlahovic is still on the list at Milan. AC Milan consider Vlahovic as one of the potential targets. The manager, Massimiliano Allegri, knows the player so well. So I think for Vlahovic, the possibility also to continue in Italy and go to Milan is one to watch for the final weeks.
Okay. What about Chelsea? You've mentioned yesterday that Xavi Simons are very close to signing for Chelsea, as well as young player from Ajax Amsterdam, which is Jorel Hato. Are we going to see any movement in the next 2 days? And what about the outgoings as well? Because we see Disasi is still there, Christopher Nkunku, Chukwuemeka, Oguchukwu, and of course the name that keeps mentioned across all of the English teams as a plan B, which is Nicolas Jackson, my friend.
Yeah, there will be many movements at Chelsea in the next days. First of all, for the incomings, for Jorel Hato at Ajax, they are very close to the agreement. So moving very fast this deal because the player wants to go to Chelsea. And so I think this agreement can be done very soon for Hato to be new defender for Chelsea. For Xavi Simons, also the negotiation is going quite well with Leipzig. So conversations ongoing to try to reach an agreement, but the deal is advancing well. Also for Xavi Simons. So I expect these two deals to happen for Chelsea if everything goes to the plan in the next days. And then, as you say, the outgoings will be important. Joao Felix goes to Al Nassr. For Nico Jackson, as we mentioned, there are several possibilities. Let's see what happens with Newcastle, United, maybe Italian clubs. So the situation of Jackson is open. Nkunku has some interest from Bundesliga, and not only, because also for Premier League clubs can be an option, but I also see him leaving. Sterling is in the list at Fulham, so he could go to Fulham. There is also Napoli offer the player, so they have this opportunity on the table, but at the moment Fulham are more active in terms of talks for Sterling. So there are many players who are going to leave. As you said, also Disasi, Chukwuemeka is in the list at Leipzig, and Chelsea are speaking to Leipzig for Xavi Simons, but also for Chukwuemeka. So there will be many outgoings for Chelsea for sure in these final weeks of the window.
Perfect. Let's move to Spain. Some rumors about the development of Real Madrid are trying to do the same operations when they sign Trent Alexander-Arnold, but now the target is Ibu Konate to sign him on a free transfer. Do you see any progress in this topic?
No, look, I don't think this is something that is going to evolve right now. At the moment, there is an appreciation from Real Madrid for Konate, but it's not a topic accelerating in this moment. Liverpool are not opening the doors of any exit now. Real Madrid are not going to do anything this summer in terms of blocking the player now for 2026. If in the next months the player is not extending the contract at Liverpool, for Real Madrid will be an option for sure, as it was Trent last summer. Otherwise, let's see what's going to happen. But at the moment, for Konate, he's fully focused on Liverpool, and Liverpool are not opening the doors to any exit. Then, if Liverpool will decide to open doors, of course, for Real Madrid could be an interesting opportunity. But at the moment, I can guarantee that is quiet.
Another topic that is being hot on Real Madrid is actually the outgoings, where Rodrigo keeps mentioning that they will find another club for Rodrigo. What would be the latest situation on Rodrigo, assuming that Luis Diaz is confirming the transfer to Bayern Munich? Do you see that there is a possibility of Isak and Rodrigo are moving to Liverpool at the same time?
Look, at the moment for Rodrigo, I'm not aware of any concrete update. Rodrigo still has to decide what he wants to do, if he wants to leave or if he wants to stay at Real Madrid and compete for a spot at the club. So at the moment, the Rodrigo situation is still not something advanced. Isak is way more advanced in terms of Liverpool ideas and Liverpool plans. So at the moment for Rodrigo, we have to wait for the player to decide, and then we will understand more. And then we will see also for more movements at Real Madrid. But I can guarantee that at the moment, all the players are quite happy also with the situation of Xabi Alonso. They're trying to show their skills to the new coach. So I think Rodrigo, now returning from the holidays from this week, after the conversation started with his agents, will now make a decision together with his agents and with his family.
Okay, before we go to fans' questions, I have one last questions from the latest update from Ademola Lookman transfer updates from Inter Milan, from Atalanta. What would be the latest situations from that?
Look, there is a negotiation ongoing for Lookman. Lookman wants to go to Inter. He has an agreement with Inter, but at the moment Inter are offering 40 million euros. Atalanta want at least 50 million euros. So there is still a gap in valuation. I'm told that Inter Atalanta will talk again this week to try to reach an agreement. And so we will follow the developments, but Inter are still working on this deal for Lookman, also because the player is very keen on the move.
There is a news that Inter placing 10 days cap to get this deal done. Do you see any potential of the transfer will be collapse? If we are, proceeding,
you can always collapse a transfer. So yeah, you can always collapse a transfer, especially when there is a gap. But at the moment, as I told you, my job is to tell people what's going on now, and now the conversation is absolutely ongoing. The player wants to go to Inter, and so the deal is absolutely on at the moment.
Okay, so now let's move to the fans question. You have a lot of fans in Indonesia, my friend. The first
Thank
one.
you.
Let's get the graphics going. The first question is coming from Ada GWP. It's a preference questions from you. So what is the transfer that shocking you the most?
This summer, you mean? Probably this summer.
From all of your career, you have been reporting hundreds of thousands of transfers.
Probably, I would say
Cristiano
Cristiano
Ronaldo,
Ronaldo to Manchester United. Yes. That one was
not
really
to Juventus.
surprising.
Not to Juventus. You mean to Manchester United?
No, to Juventus. No, the return to Man United was really fast and really surprising. So that one was really a big shock.
Okay. So there you go. Ade GWP. It's a Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester. Second question is from Aldo_Nugra. Have you been have you experienced some sort of like disconnected or like a warning coming from a club because you are breaking a transfer news, like telling them ahead of the commercial announcement?
Yeah, sometimes can happen. It's part of the game, but I think they accept that now. Obviously, I do my work at the best, trying to respect everyone. So sometimes you have to wait for the club, but in other cases, obviously, it's my job to give news, and so people want the news, and I'm always trying to do my best in a maximum respectful conversation. So I never had any real problem, to be honest.
Okay. So this is the last one. As you know, our captain of national team is playing in the Italy now with Venezia in Serie B. Have you heard some news that probably some of the teams in Serie B or Serie A have some interest in JIS?
Yes, Genoa, Sassuolo and Udinese, these three clubs are interested. At the moment, Venezia are asking for more than 10 million euros, so it's not an easy or cheap deal at all after he did very well last season. Yeah. I really like this player. I think he's quite underrated on international stage, but he's a very good defender. So he did very well last season, and I think there will be movement. Let's see between Genoa, Udinese and Sassuolo who's going to win this race, but it's an open story.
I think that's it. Thank you so much, my friend. You're always the best, as always, and
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks,
My
Fabrizio.
pleasure. Thank you.
Speak
Ciao
soon.
to all Indonesian fans. Ciao. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. I will see you soon.
I will see you soon in August, ya. I'll get the deal done for you. No worries. Ya, itu dia tadi sebuah pendalaman yang sudah kita tanyakan kepada Fabrizio Romano. Satu Vespa yang sangat worth it karena ada satu breaking news yang akhirnya disampaikan ke kita di para komunitas APH ini. Itu adalah tentang masa depan dari Kapten Jay Isak. Ada 3 tim Serie A yang berminat mengakuisisi Jay Isak untuk bisa memperkuat timnya. Ada Genoa, ada Udinese, dan ada Sassuolo. Nah, kalau kita lihat dari sisi ketiga tim ini, itu secara financial power merasa mahar transfer 10 juta euro yang diminta oleh Venezia itu masih terlalu tinggi. Karena memang juga ini statusnya sebagai non EU untuk sebagai pemain asing yang nanti harus dipertimbangkan juga untuk kuota availability dari masing-masing tim ini. Nah, ini memang uniknya berarti ada sedikit pergeseran ekspektasi transfer yang diminta oleh Venezia. Sebelumnya kan ketika lagi gacor-gacornya di Serie A, ini sempat masuk ke angka 12-15 juta euro untuk Jay Isak. Rumornya pada saat itu Juventus tertarik, Inter Milan tertarik, dan ada beberapa tim juga yang tertarik. Nah, dengan dipastikannya Venezia degradasi ke Serie B, tentunya income yang didapatkan antara kontestan tim yang di Serie A dan tim Serie B itu sangat-sangat berbeda, dan membuat mungkin posisi tawar dari Venezia itu sedikit lebih rendah. Itu karena memang dari sisi income, commercial, ticketing, dan hak siar TV itu jauh sekali perbedaannya antara tim-tim yang bermain di Serie A dan tentunya ada di Serie B. Nah, sekarang kalau kita lihat dari kemampuan finansial antara Genoa, Sassuolo, dan juga Udinese, kalau kita pure dari perspektif kemampuan finansial, ya pastinya Genoa berada dalam situasi yang sedikit lebih baik ketimbang Sassuolo dan juga Udinese. Baru setelah itu mungkin secara hierarki ini adalah Sassuolo. Tapi apakah akan terjadi kesepakatan di angka 10 juta euro? Ini tergantung nanti seperti apa dinamikanya. Mungkin akan sedikit berkurang dari sisi nego-nego, mungkin akan tutup apabila ini bisa terjadi di angka 7 sampai mungkin tertinggi 8 juta euro. But in any case, ini merupakan mahar transfer mungkin bisa dibilang terbesar untuk salah satu pemain timnas kita yang pernah ada. Asumsi nanti Mes masih bertahan, tidak ada klub yang meminang ya di jendela transfer musim panas ini. Nah, itulah yang paling menarik, sebuah breaking news langsung dari Fabrizio Romano terkait masa depan seorang Jay Isak. Kita berharap kapten kita tetap bisa bermain di Serie A, dan dia juga meng-highlight bahwasanya ini adalah salah satu pemain paling underrated di Serie A musim lalu, di mana berarti publik Italia pun mengapresiasi kualitas dari seorang Isak yang memang very reliable di lini bertahan, dan kita harapkan pemain kita terutama kapten kita tetap bisa berkompetisi atau bersaing di level tertinggi di Italia. Kemanapun itu gue berdoa yang terbaik untuk Isak, dan yang terpenting kemanapun tim dia berlabuh dia akan bermain sebagai starter seperti yang dia lakukan di Venezia. Itu adalah harapan terbesar yang bisa gue sampaikan. Nah, itu yang pertama breaking newsnya, dan kita sedikit elaborate tadi tentang dinamika transfer Benjamin Sesko, my friend, dan sudah dikonfirmasi oleh Fabrizio juga bahwasannya tadi klausa gentleman's agreement itu ada. Preferensi Benjamin Sesko adalah pindah ke Manchester United, dan itu membuat sebenarnya United berada dalam posisi yang jauh lebih baik untuk bisa membayar mahar transfer lebih murah ketimbang Newcastle. Jadi sekarang ini posisinya adalah Newcastle punya uang, bisa spend, tapi preferensinya dari si pemain itu adalah pindah ke Manchester United, di mana United sedang mengkalkulasi apakah mereka bisa dan mau untuk mengeluarkan mahar transfer sebesar ekspektasi dari Leipzig, di mana itu di angka 80 sampai 85 juta euro. Bukan tentang bukan tentang apakah dia mau dibeli atau enggak. Ini lebih kepada finansialnya masuk nggak nih? Ada nggak nih uangnya? Dari mana uangnya kita cari? Kurang lebih berapa sekarang cash reserve yang dimiliki oleh Manchester United, dan apabila ada gap, dari mana kita mencarinya? Itu kaitannya tadi sama outgoings yang disampaikan oleh Fabrizio Romano juga, di mana memang ada perwakilan dari Al Nassr yang menghubungi camp atau representatif dari Anthony, tetapi belum ada concrete offer gitu. Sebaliknya Garnacho, ini faktornya itu akan di penghujung penutupan bursa transfer. Itu kata Fabrizio. Jadi dia menganalisa agak sedikit sulit untuk beberapa tim yang di Inggris ini akan memberikan bid di periode ini. Mungkin dekat-dekat ke penutupan transfer untuk bisa menekan MU biar harganya nggak terlalu mahal. Nah, ini membuat Ineos sekarang harus bertindak, apakah akan ngebid untuk Sesko tanpa menunggu outgoings dari dua pemain ini, atau akhirnya memutuskan untuk ya udah mendelay dan membuat Newcastle berada dalam posisi lebih diuntungkan untuk strike the deal secepatnya dan meyakinkan sang pemain untuk bergabung ke Newcastle. Nah, itu dia terkait Benjamin Sesko. Dan satu poin juga yang di-highlight tadi oleh Fabrizio itu adalah Alexander Isak yang mungkin akan menjadi British record transfer. Sang pemain hanya ingin Liverpool dan Liverpool ingin Isak. Apakah nanti mungkin ada akuisisi dua pemain sekaligus, yaitu Isak dan pemain sayap? Fabrizio tadi bilang there is a possibility, masih ada possibility itu. Tapi kita lihat seperti apa developmentnya. Mungkin Newcastle, apabila asumsi gua bisa mendatangkan Sesko lebih cepat, mungkin harga dari Isak itu akan sedikit lebih mahal. Tapi asumsi apabila dia melepas Isak dulu, baru mendatangkan Benjamin Sesko, ini harganya Isak mungkin akan lebih murah gitu. Jadi kita lihat seperti apa nanti dinamikanya. Kita akan terus update juga buat kalian, dan pastinya akan ada satu sesi lagi nanti yang akan kita jalani untuk merecap pastinya transfer dan kejutan apa yang akan terjadi di akhir Agustus bersama kawan kita Fabrizio Romano gitu ya. Dan mohon maaf kalau ada pertanyaan yang belum tersebutkan tadi. Kita berusaha memang karena memang waktunya terbatas juga, dan kita akan coba tanyakan di lain kesempatan untuk Fabrizio. Dan untuk itu gue pengen mengucapkan sekali lagi terima kasih buat kalian yang sudah nonton dan udah subscribe, yang udah dukung terus. Dan kita akan kembali lagi di edisi Football Morning Show besok di hari Rabu untuk kita bisa membahas kembali update-update terkini dari seputar tim kesayangan kalian. Akhir kata, HANIFTHAMRIN pamit, sampai jumpa di episode besok. Let's go!